I had severe depression and panic attacks in my early 20s.
Gisele Bündchen is opening up on The View. The supermodel sat down with the women at The View to talk about her new cookbook, Nourish. During her appearance, she reveals how building a better relationship with food helped her overcome severe panic attacks and depression.
I had severe depression and panic attacks in my early 20s, but I had no idea that it was correlated with my lifestyle, and food was a big part of it.
Maybe it had to do with the fact that you left your family at 14. Did you think of that?
You know, I actually was loving, I felt like really independent.
Yeah.
You know, I was emancipated at 14, you know, and I was living in Japan and then to New York at 15. But I thought it was an amazing life. I was working 7 days a week, and I was in the hamster wheel, and I just wasn't conscious. You know, when you're 14, what do you know?
Yeah.
And you go into the world, and I felt like very grateful that I had a job, and I was traveling the world, and I wasn't really paying attention, you know. I was just like going like 100 miles an hour. And until like I started having severe panic attacks in my early 20s, and I didn't know what to do. And it's been over a year and a half, and I was going through all the specialists, and I just wanted to feel better. I didn't know what to do, so I found this amazing naturopath, and he said to me, Gisele, we have to change your diet. And I was like, diet? What does that have to do with my panic attack?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it has everything to do with it.
Yeah.
So he's like, listen, the way you eat. Then I told him about my day. I drink, I smoke, I have coffee, you know, whatever. And and he says, listen, adrenalina. He called me adrenalina. He's like, stop right there. He says, you're not sleeping. You're like in different time zones all the time. You're eating like terrible all day. I mean, I was the type of person who was just, as long as it's in the supermarket, it's great for me to eat. Anything, you know, I was just like, let me eat it. And, you know, with comfort food, you're traveling, you're tired, you're just like...
French fries taste really good when you're tired.
And chocolate and cookie, you know, all that stuff.
I know.
So basically, I was just eating everything and not conscious. And he says, we're going to have to change your diet. We're going to have to have at least 8 hours of sleep, and we're going to have to exercise daily.
Wow.
If you do those three things, you're going to feel better. After having a year and a half of, like, I would say one of the worst times in my life, everything changed. I became a different person. I started practicing meditation. I started practicing yoga. I started practicing breath work. And it's incredible how just by changing, we're habitual beings, so we're going to be, you know, if we do something every day, we're just going to be comfortable with that and continue doing that, which is what I was doing. But what I was doing was actually destroying my health and creating the condition I was in, but I wasn't correlating until he told me, until I experienced it in my own body. So it was the first time I started experiencing with food, you know?
Earlier this month, during a sit-down interview with ABC's Robin Roberts, she got emotional talking about her life following her split from former NFL quarterback Tom Brady.
How are you?
Well, when you say... Sorry, guys. I didn't know... Can I have a little moment? Sorry. But let me just breathe.
Deep breath.
Okay. It's definitely a time of, you know, a transition that had to take place, and it's not something that I don't think you wish for that, you know? But I think sometimes in life things happen. I feel so blessed because, like, I wouldn't change anything in my life. I had incredible experiences. I learned so much. I have my children, which are the biggest blessings in my life. And now I get to create, it's a new season, it's a new chapter in my life, and I get to learn new things, and I get to walk my path in a different way, you know, and I'm grateful for all of it. I'm grateful for every lesson.
Plus what it's like co-parenting and how it feels to return to modeling on her own terms.
I think it's been, you know, there's easier days than others, but I think, you know, it's amazing that the kids, they're super smart children. They know what they can get away with. So I think it's natural that it has different rules, and then kids just adapt, and they're gonna try to do what they want, and I can only control what I do. And I think for me, now is really about the balance. Now we have, you know, Tom has time with them, and I have time with them, which I think is amazing because they get to, you know, really experience, you know, again, more enriching for their lives, two different worlds, and they get to learn from two different worlds, and that's wonderful for them, I think. I feel very lucky because I get to work with all my friends, people that I've known for so many years. When I used to do all these jobs, it used to be like 360 days I worked. It was a different tone. Like when everybody's pulling your hair and doing all that stuff, it felt like, wow, it's like you just need a moment for yourself. But now it's more spaced out, the jobs that I do, because of course, after I became a mom, that became my priority. So when I work today, it feels like kind of a little bit of a time to like nurture myself in a way, which is so funny how that changes.
Gisele and Tom announced their plans to divorce back in October 2022 after 13 years of marriage. Tom said this on his Instagram at the time: "We arrived at this decision amicably and with gratitude for the time we spent together. We are blessed with beautiful and wonderful children who will continue to be the center of our world in every way. We will continue to work together as parents to always ensure they receive the love and attention they deserve." Tom and Gisele share son Benjamin and daughter Vivian. Tom also shares son Jack with ex-girlfriend actress Bridget Moynihan.